If you're a football supporter from anywhere in the world, you're probably already aware of the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Moldovan National Division, etc. And they have some great stadiums. But there are some fantastic stadiums hidden away in the lower leagues. We're going to take a look at 10 of those stadiums from leagues around the world. For the sake of variety, I have limited it to just one stadium per league. I know Germany's second division has quite a few. Anyway, let's get into it. Arena de Amazonia. The stadium is famous for being one of the white elephants that was built for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. You may have heard that it was built in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, and that's kind of true, in the middle of a city that, as you can see, is in the middle of the Amazon. But if this guy gets his way, it'll be oceanfront real estate in no time. The exterior is supposed to resemble the straw baskets that you'll find in the region, while also being white and metallic to help reflect the sun's rays, a handy feature in such a hot and humid climate. The club that plays here have been in Brazil's top flight before, but not for a few decades. As of now, they compete in the State League and don't even come close to selling it out. Stadium Batacan. A lot of people don't know this, but Indonesia is actually the largest country in the world where football is the most popular sport. USA has American football, India has cricket, and China has table tennis. I played table tennis for a little while, but I just had to quit. I got sick of the violence. Most stadiums in Indonesia have a running track around the field, so this is a welcome change. It seems like a nice, clean, modern design, but one thing I found odd was that despite being built just a few years ago, it has these obstructive support pillars holding up the roof. Not a big deal, but you usually wouldn't see that in such a new stadium. Stade Ocean. As you may have guessed, that means Ocean Stadium, and it's more than just a name. The blue translucent facade not only looks very ocean-like, but it filters the light that enters the stadium to give it a bit of a blue tint. It is also right by the ocean. And maybe I'm reading into it a little too much, but that roof over there does look wave-like. And playing into the ocean theme once more, and I'm a big fan of this one, is that the fertilizer for the field is actually made of baby dolphins that were crushed locally. So good on them for not using chemicals that are harmful to the environment. It's home to the second tier club, Le Havre. No baby dolphins were harmed in the fertilizer production process. Daejeon World Cup Stadium. Another one built for a World Cup. Oh man, sometimes I feel like I point out the obvious. Although there are some stadiums with Olympic in the title that weren't actually built for the Olympics. So you never know. For the most part, the exterior is fairly straightforward, but the roof is pretty cool. It is actually partially retractable, much like Wembley. Except not at each end. Those roofs along the side can retract just a little bit. I suppose that's to do with the sun rather than the rain. I quite like the interior, but there's something I don't understand. The stadium also goes by the name Purple Arena. If that's purple, then what color is Barney? Fritz-Walter-Stadion. It's one of my favorite stadiums in Germany, partially due to the way it looks like a castle that's overlooking the city of Kaiserslautern, which by the way might be the most German sounding name there is. It also reminds me of Old Trafford due to the slanting roofs and the fact that one side is smaller than the rest. At Old Trafford that is due to there being train tracks on one side. Here it's the lack of flat ground available, it sort of falls off a cliff. The interior has a unique look to it which I'm a big fan of. It's unbelievable that Kaiserslautern is in the third tier of German football. It's such a nice ground. Estadio Garrincha. Yet another white elephant left in the wake of the 2014 World Cup. The stadium's exterior is quite distinctive, being made up of hundreds of columns. But it's not one of my favorites in this video. However, apparently the Russians really liked it. Look at this stadium that was built prior to the 2018 World Cup. Subtle. It's not the only one they copied either. The interior, however, is more to my liking. A few teams play here, none of which are even close to being top tier clubs. But here's the bad part. It's the second largest stadium in Brazil, and the most expensive football-specific stadium in the Americas, costing a little under $1 billion. And that's for teams that are the Brazilian equivalent of Accrington Stanley or the Richmond Kickers or Arsenal. It's a bit ridiculous. Stadium of Light. Although the design might not be as spectacular as some others we've seen so far, I think it deserves to be in this video, due to it being the 5th largest football stadium in England outside of London. Yet Sunderland are in the 3rd tier of English football. Clearly times were once better for Sunderland. There used to be a Premier League club. Back then that "Howie the lads" had an exclamation mark. Now it's just "Howie the lads." Oh, and 2 things that give this stadium bonus points is that it's situated in a pretty cool spot elevated above the River Wear, and Stadium of Light. That's just a cool name. Volgograd Arena. It too was built for the 2018 World Cup, but that's better Russia, something a little more original. That facade is pretty interesting. Much like the last one, it's located on the banks of a river, the Volga River, which the city is named after, which the stadium is named after. It was far from an ideal location though. They dug up hundreds of unexploded bombs from World War II during construction. The interior is rather nice, and as always I like that wavy top tier. It's home to FC Rota Volgograd, who are in Russia's 2nd division. Veltins-Arena. If you watched the recent 2nd Bundesliga video, you'll already be familiar, but I just think having a retractable roof as well as a field that can roll in and out of the stadium is so much technology that it had to be included. The exterior is perhaps a little dull, but there's certainly nothing wrong with the interior. One of the benefits of having an enclosed stadium like this is that it allows for a centre-hung video board, which I do prefer. It's home to Schalke, who were relegated from the Bundesliga just last season. I told them that would happen if they finished last. Sanga Stadium by Kyocera. Fun fact, in Australian slang, a sanga is a sandwich. But this sanga is derived from a Sanskrit word, meaning club basically. You combine the two and you have yourself a sandwich club. Or even better, a club sandwich. Anyway, it opened just last year and it might be my favourite football stadium in Japan. I love the mix of metal, wood and glass used on the exterior. It gives it an elegant modern look. Very Japanese. And to top it off, the interior is done up in a lovely shade of purple. However, I'm second guessing myself. Is that even purple? Purple Arena wasn't that colour. I also really like the way they've designed the corner seating as well. The lucky team that plays here is Kyoto Sanga, currently in the J2 League. And that's it for today's video. I'm sure there are many more stadiums in the lower leagues that could have got a mention. Perhaps we'll make a part 2. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, have a good one.